is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
It is 5 o'clock here on your Friday. Good morning to you. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. Here's what's making headlines on this March 20th. Indiana has now confirmed more than 50 cases of COVID-19. The new orders Governor Holcomb is giving to schools during the outbreak.
Gleaners Food Bank and IPS are now teaming up to help feed more kids in need. The struggles they're facing as the demand for food assistance grows.
And a local marketing agency is working to help small businesses make it through the outbreak restrictions. The resources they're offering to make sure owners are set up to succeed. But first, we need to get a check of your Storm Team 6 forecast.
That's right. Maybe you woke up to the heavy rains coming down outside, and as you walk out the door early this morning, Todd, man, it is warm out there. We're not used to these kind of temperatures yet.
No, it's kind of a shock to the system. You walk out and you're like, oh man, I can get used to this.
Yeah.
I know there is a little bit of rain and we do have some issues with flash flooding, but temperature-wise, it's beautiful this morning. Unfortunately, we are not going to keep these temperatures. As far as the rain goes, some heavy downpours here just south of Muncie as you work your way through southern Delaware County into northern portions of Henry County. Then some heavy rainfall just south of Marion, a little thin band. Not picking up much in the way of lightning anymore, so this is just some plain old tropical lake downpours. Look at the heavy rainfall just south of Lebanon. This all moving off towards the northeast. Noblesville, just south of Morris Reservoir, over into portions of Anderson. Some heavier downpours. This big batch of rain is pushing off into Ohio. And then we have just a few tropical downpours here through Johnson County. And so as we work our way throughout the morning, rain chances will decrease, but we still have a front that has to come through. And that doesn't come through until about 9 o'clock. Until then, we will keep rain in the forecast. Where you see the red on this map, you can pick your location if you are in this. In many counties, these are flash flood warnings. This means flooding is occurring right now. So you may be running into some issues. Obviously, if you encounter flooding on the roadways, do not cross those. You have no idea how deep that water is. Enjoy the mild air the next few hours. 40s, Lauren, by this afternoon. More on that coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We are keeping a close eye on traffic as you're heading out the door this morning. Here's a look down in the Franklin area. Good morning to you in Johnson County, I-65 at exit 90, State Road 44. And you can see traffic is moving along just fine. Very quiet down that way. We'll continue to keep our eyes out for any delays this morning. Watch for ponding as you're heading out the door.
Now to the latest on the coronavirus outbreak. Indiana health officials are reporting 17 new cases of COVID-19. The total now stands at 56, with 19 of those being from Marion County. 2 Hoosiers have died. In Hancock County, a Greenfield intermediate school teacher has also tested positive for the virus. Governor Eric Holcomb is taking additional steps to stop the spread by extending the state of emergency into May. He also ordered that all Indiana K-12 schools will remain closed until at least May 1st. That includes non-public schools. Holcomb says the date may extend through the end of the school year if need be. All state-mandated tests have also been canceled.
If, by some miracle, we get students back this year, we'll use that time in class for instruction, not cramming for tests.
Holcomb also said some filing and payment deadlines for tax season could be extended for 60 days because of the virus, and that he would support postponing the primary election on May 5th.
More central Indiana counties are going even further with efforts to contain the virus. Starting today up in Madison County, all businesses and retail stores that do not sell food or home supplies are being ordered to close through April 6th. There are many exemptions, though, including healthcare facilities, gas stations, and auto repair shops. Funerals will be limited to 10 people, and a travel watch will be in effect, meaning only essential travel is advised. In Delaware County and Muncie, they're declaring a joint emergency. It orders all barbershops, salons, tattoo parlors, gyms, indoor play areas, private clubs, and fraternal organizations to close. The city and county office are also included. Ball State announced that their recreational and sports facilities are closed until further notice.
While schools are closed, Indianapolis Public Schools is now partnering with Gleaners Food Bank to help feed more students and families in need. Starting today, IPS buses will pick up and deliver Gleaners meal packages to 25 schools throughout the city. They will be given out on Fridays and Mondays from 4 to 6 p.m. Families will receive one 17-pound box of non-perishable food items. IPS says they are also continuing to distribute their prepackaged meals through the district's spring break next week. You can find a list of the pickup locations on our website, theindychannel.com.
Gleaners is also working to feed many who have lost their jobs or income during the coronavirus pandemic. They say the demand for food has grown by 2 or 3 times over just the last week. The nonprofit says they may have trouble keeping up as the costs skyrocket.
We've seen an increase of about $400,000 a week in additional food costs. The price of the food that we buy is going up as Gleaners and other food banks compete with for-profit retailers who are going to the same food companies and wholesalers we are. They're trying to replenish their stores. We're trying to replenish the inventory here at the warehouse and keep up.
Gleaners supplies items to hunger relief agencies and schools throughout 21 counties in central and southeast Indiana.
As we head into our first weekend with all the new restrictions in place, Governor Holcomb is reminding Hoosiers why it is so important to continue social distancing at this time. Our Alyssa Donovan is live outside the State House this morning. Alyssa, we received many important updates yesterday from our governor. Tell us a little bit about those.
Yeah, and we've highlighted some of those really important changes that went into place yesterday. But something important to note that the governor talked about yesterday was the importance of these changes and why they are so necessary that they go into place. Now, a lot of us have had the distraction of work, even those working from home this week. But now we're heading into the first weekend. We won't have that distraction of work, which is why it's so important to continue to practice what we've practiced throughout the week. Closures of restaurants and bars, movie theaters, and other public gathering spaces, those are going to be something that is going to be very noticeable as we head into the next couple days. During yesterday's press conference, the governor announced the approval of disaster relief low-interest loans for small businesses in Indiana, but he's still encouraging people to patron places that are trying to make ends meet while adjusting to this new normal. Many local restaurants have switched over to carry-out options, some providing take-and-bake meals, home baking kits, and drive-through options. Some bars also offering to-go cocktails during this time. The governor reminding people that social distancing and washing our hands remains the best way that we as citizens can continue to combat this pandemic.
Because there is no greater civil liberty than the liberty to not being infected by irresponsible actions and behaviors of others who would dangerously impact the health and safety of our fellow citizens.
And the main concern remains those vulnerable individuals. However, the CDC did release some numbers late last night showing that 29% of U.S. cases are among the 20 to 44 age group, 20% of hospitalizations in this age group as well, and 12% of hospital ICU cases in this age group. So that is a very important reminder, those statistics, on why we need to continue to social distance as we head into the weekend to protect not only ourselves, but those vulnerable individuals in our community. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, some great reminders there. Thank you. For the first time in its 110-year history, Indiana's boys basketball state tournament has been canceled. The IHSAA announced it will not be able to resume games. They had hoped to play regionals last weekend. That plan was called off on Friday. Officials say they will have an update on spring sports in the near future.
Working together, a local marketing and public relations agency is trying to help small business owners as they navigate this uncertain time, and they're doing it all for free. Collective Alternative is hosting weekly webinars and phone calls. It's a chance for small business owners to connect and talk with each other about the challenges that they're facing. They'll work with the Collective Alternative team to brainstorm ways to make it through and still connect with customers.
It's just insurmountable what is going to happen with small business and how we're going to survive, and it truly is going to take all of us.
They've also released a free PDF download for business owners. It has tips and resources for social media and email communications. We'll have a link with more information posted on our website today.
RTV6 has been working for more than a year to connect you and your family with job opportunities and career resources. And that effort continues as coronavirus closures have a ripple effect on multiple industries. Senior One Karen Carmel is always looking to hire. The director of recruitment says the need is even greater now with orders to stay home to help stop the spread of COVID-19. And with many people losing their jobs due to mass closures, the company is making an extra effort to let people know they have openings.
When we started seeing local restaurants, retailers, bars, hotels, having to close their doors. It broke our hearts, really. And it just inspired me to hop online and just put it out there. If you are a bartender or you work at a local store and you need money to pay your bills, we understand that. And we have seniors who need your help.
Caregivers with Senior One Care start off at $13 an hour. You can find more information about those positions and other job opportunities at hiringhoosiers.com. Here at 5:10, we want to check in on the weather. A lot going on out there, Todd.
You know, we've had a lot of rainfall. Thankfully, yesterday we avoided much of the severe weather as far as the tornadoes and the thunderstorms went. We had a few thunderstorm warnings. The tornado warning stayed to our south, but we got a lot of rainfall, not just yesterday, but going back to Wednesday as well. And in this area of red, which is a flash flood warning, meaning flooding is occurring right now, we've seen 2 to 4 inches of rain. At my house in Marion County, I walked in my backyard yesterday during a little bit of a break, and the water just kind of shot up between my toes because I was walking in bare feet. That's how saturated the ground is. So flooding is going to be a concern as we work our way throughout the day. Still some heavier downpours and one little lightning strike now in southern portions of Grant County there near Marion. Some isolated showers in Lebanon as well as Anderson, and then down to the south. But this is kind of the last hurrah of the rainfall. There's a front still off to our west. That is going to come through, take the rain out of the equation by about 9, 10 o'clock. But look what it does to the temperatures. We're in the 60s right now. We'll be in the mid-40s by the time we get to 3 p.m. this evening. Temperatures are in the 30s, so enjoy the warmth, even though it's very damp outside here throughout the morning.
Todd, thank you. The state of California is taking drastic steps to prevent the spread of COVID-19. Coming up, why the governor decided it was time to go on lockdown.
And Republican lawmakers are proposing a huge relief package to give Americans money to help during the outbreak. Still ahead, a look at how much you could receive in their $1 trillion plan. We'll be right back.
All new 2020 tonight on ABC.
California is taking one of the most drastic measures to combat the spread of coronavirus by putting the state on lockdown. Governor Gavin Newsom said that more than half of all state residents will come down with the coronavirus in the next 8 weeks. The statewide restriction orders all residents to stay home and remain in place until further notice.
It's time for all of us to recognize as individuals and as a community, we need to do more to meet this moment.
There are exceptions to the order. Newsom says Californians who work in certain sectors can be out, including those at grocery stores, pharmacies, and banks. California is currently dealing with 910 cases in the state, including at least 19 deaths.
More financial aid may soon be on the way. Senate Republicans have proposed a $1 trillion economic stimulus package to help those who are struggling financially due to the novel coronavirus pandemic. But Democrats say they were not properly involved. John Lawrence has the latest.
Senate Republicans unveiled the Coronavirus Aid Relief and Economic Security Act, a $1 trillion proposal.
The widespread goal among all of us, both the White House and Senate Republicans, is to get cash directly into the hands of the American people.
The goal is to help those taking a financial hit from COVID-19.
It's a very stressful time for everybody. You know, you have to worry about getting sick, but you also have to worry about if your bills are going to get paid.
The Republican plan calls for recovery rebates of up to $1,200 for individuals and $2,400 for couples below a certain financial threshold. Right now, it's just a proposal, and Senate Democrats say the plan is a non-starter and complain they weren't part of the process.
If we want to get this done quickly, the best way to do it is to have a four corners negotiation, House and Senate, majority and minority.
Majority Leader McConnell says bipartisan talks were skipped to get things done faster.
The Republicans are in the majority in the Senate. We wanted to put forward our proposal. We feel like we have an obligation to do that as a majority. And the Democrats, of course, need to be given an opportunity to react to it.
But top Senate Democrat Chuck Schumer and House Speaker Nancy Pelosi issued a statement Thursday night saying the plan puts corporations way ahead of workers. I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Bank of America says it will let some customers postpone payments during the coronavirus outbreak. The bank says the relief is for people who can show their hardship during the pandemic. It says those customers may be able to pause mortgage, auto loan, and credit card payments. Small businesses with loans will also get a break. Bank of America says it will make the decisions on a case-by-case basis. Borrowers will eventually have to pay all the money that is due, but it won't hurt a customer's credit. 5:17 on your Friday morning. Todd, Typically, right now, we're looking towards the weekend, talking about all the events going on. Unfortunately, that is not the case, though, right now.
Yeah, obviously things are a lot different. As we get to the weekend, the weather will be a little bit better. It's going to be a lot colder, but it will be dry if you want to get out for a walk through the neighborhood. But as far as this morning goes, it's mild, but it's really, really damp out there as we have this rain that continues to make its way through the area. We avoided a lot of the severe weather. We had one little lightning strike that was present a little earlier. It's dissipated now up here near Hartford City and Montpelier, back towards Gas City and Marion as you work your way towards Fairmount. Pretty heavy band of rainfall. Then there's some spotty downpours north of Carmel here towards Cicero, Morris Reservoir, up towards the Elwood area, and then to the south near Fairland and also the Shelbyville area, some downpours. But everything now is very, very spotty. There's no widespread rain, but when it does rain in your neighborhood, it is going to come down very hard, but it's going to be very brief. That is the good news. But look at some of these rainfall totals. This is just over the last 24 hours. This doesn't even count the rain that fell on Wednesday afternoon, 2 to 4 inches of rain. This is also the area where we have flash flood warnings that are in place from the rainfall yesterday. So we'll wait for this cold front to come through. Obviously, if you run into some of that flooding, do not try to cross those streets. If you live around a stream that is elevated or a river, those should start to recede pretty quickly now that the rain is starting to come to an end. We'll see maybe a few spotty showers here throughout the 9 o'clock hour as this front comes through, and this little skinny band is the front. So we'll see a quick burst of rain in your neighborhood when that front does come through, but it's not going to be enough to aggravate any of the flooding situation if you are under any of those flash flood warnings. And then this afternoon, we're just left with cloudy skies and maybe a few peaks of sunshine late in the day. Look at this. Lafayette now up to 70 degrees. That's up a degree from last hour. It's 67 in Bloomington, 66 in Indianapolis. Do not get used to these temperatures, as we will see these temperatures fall very, very quickly. Will they be down to 50 degrees by the noon hour, low 40s by this evening, and then after sunset, temperatures will be in the 30s. It is going to be a dramatic change as we drop over 30 degrees over the course of the day today. Here is that weekend forecast. A little bit of cloud cover to start tomorrow. Clouds decrease. A high of 40 degrees. Sunday, 46 degrees with mostly sunny skies. And here's a look at your 7-day planning forecast. When you wake up tomorrow morning, we are in the 20s, and the same for Sunday morning. But it's just a quick shot of colder air. Temperatures moderate back into the 50s Monday and Tuesday, and then the 60s, Lauren, as we head into Wednesday and Thursday.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We are keeping a close eye on traffic this morning. Here's a live look right now. US 31, a little south of 116th Street, up in the Carmel area. You can see wet roads out that way. Traffic is picking up, but traveling up to speed this morning. So let's take one more live look. This is over on the west side of town, I-465 and West 21st Street. Traffic here is also moving along up to speed. Just a heads up, though, for drivers in the Shelby County area over on I-74. The westbound right lane is closed right now due to high water. We know we got a lot of rain overnight, a lot of rain still moving through in some parts, so watch for those areas of high water or ponding. Turn around, don't drown.
The head coach of the New Orleans Saints says he's recovering from coronavirus. Sean Payton says he's feeling better and has just a few more days of quarantine left. The 56-year-old says he felt sick Sunday and got tested on Monday. Payton is the first person from the NFL to reveal he's been infected with COVID-19. He says he counts himself lucky that his symptoms mainly involve fatigue, but not a fever or cough. Payton won the Super Bowl with the Saints in 2009 against the Indianapolis Colts.
At 5:21, the NFL running back Todd Gurley was fired on his day off. He was released from the Los Angeles Rams and made a joke on Twitter using the hashtag quarantine and chill. He led the league in touchdowns in 2017 and 2018, but his last season was subpar. He was let go the same day that the team was to pay him $10.5 million of bonus for him, and he's now a free agent and available to be signed by other teams.
A lifelong baseball fan was given a special surprise from her favorite team. After the break, what one player did to bring a smile to this grandmother fighting cancer.
Take 3 years to pay only at Ashley Home Store.
With the MLB season on hiatus because of the coronavirus, one baseball player took some of his extra time to do something special for one fan. New York Mets first baseman Pete Alonso made 82-year-old Kathleen Selig's day when he sent a video to the lifelong Mets fan. The moment came together after Kathleen's granddaughter put out a plea on social media. Kathleen was recently diagnosed with lung cancer and told she only had weeks to live. Alonso answered the plea and sent her a personal message. She was brought to tears. She was so excited. Kathleen then got a call from the Mets team manager thanking her for her support. How sweet. And we hope that that diagnosis was wrong and that she has years left to live.
Yes, definitely. That is a cool story there.
Yeah.
To another Mets fan,
That's
Todd
right.
Clausen standing by.
Hit it on over to Todd.
Yeah, well, hit it on over to you, Todd.
Yeah, Pete Alonso, he's a heck of a hitter. Lots of home runs last year, so that was a great story. All right, outside right now, we're still dealing with lots of downpours across the northern portion of central Indiana. Nothing severe, but these downpours may wake you up if you're not up already, obviously, as they move through, but they go through pretty quickly. The good news is the temperatures are mild this morning. The bad news is they are not going to stay that way. We'll really start to fall off pretty quickly this afternoon. By the time we get to the middle portion of the afternoon, we're already down into the 40s. And this evening, temperatures will be in the 30s with skies that'll be cloudy. But also just be aware there are some flash flood warnings out there that you can see scrolling at the top of your screen.
Todd, thank you. Daycares are one of the few operations still allowed to be open during the coronavirus outbreak. Ahead on Good Morning Indiana, the precaution a local daycare is taking to make sure kids in their care stay safe. We'll be right back.
Today at 10 on RTV6. This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 5:30, the number of cases of COVID-19 here in Indiana continues to grow, and our leaders are taking measures to keep Hoosiers safe. This morning, we're working for you, breaking down what you need to know as we head into the first weekend, where social distancing is in full effect. And the coronavirus concerns are making things especially tough on divorced parents. How one local family is making things work and what family law attorneys say you should do if you're in this situation. But first, here at 5:30, we do want to welcome you into Good Morning Indiana. I'm Lauren Casey.
And I'm Meredith Barrick. Meteorologist Todd Clausen is standing by right now. Todd, we understand there's some flooding taking place in our viewing area.
Yeah, you know, especially south of Interstate 70. That's where we're running into a lot of issues. The good news is, for the most part, the rain has come to an end across the area. We just have a few spotty downpours here and there. They're most numerous currently in northern locations right now, from Anderson to Alexandria, over to Muncie to Hartford City, soon to be in the Portland area. But to the south, and this is where the flash flooding is taking place right now, it's just a few very, very spotty localized downpours, one just to the west of Franklin, a few more near the Rushville area. But you've seen 2 to 4 inches of rain with several rounds that moved through during the day yesterday, and that's why the flash flood warnings are out there. You can see them scrolling at the top of your screen, but the bulk of the rainfall has moved off towards the east. The severe weather threat that has come to an end, and it's mild this morning. Temperatures are great. 70 right now in Lafayette, 66 in Indy, 67 in Bloomington. Do not get used to these temperatures, though, because once the cold front comes through mid-morning, we quickly fall. We're into the 50s shortly after the noon hour, and by the time we get to sunset this evening, Lauren, temperatures are going to be all the way down into the 30s.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. Let's take a look right now out on I-74. This is a view near Acton Road where traffic is moving along up to speed. A heads up, though, for drivers to the southeast. Maybe you're in the area near Greensburg and you're heading westbound on I-74 towards Indianapolis. We do have flooding blocking one lane of the interstate, so watch for high water on I-74 to the southeast this morning. We'll continue to keep you updated on any other areas of flooding that we get word of. But for right now, let's take a look over on the east side. This is a view near Sherman Drive of I-70. Traffic moving eastbound and westbound is traveling up to speed. We'll continue to watch for any issues on your roads. You can also see the camera moving in some winds this morning. Take it easy out there.
The number of coronavirus cases in Indiana continues to increase. This morning, there are 56 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the Hoosier State. That number is up 17 cases from Wednesday. Marion County has the most cases in the state, 19. 2 people, both women, have died from the virus in our state.
Indiana has yet to shut down the state's daycare and childcare facilities, a relief for many parents. Staff at the Reach to Teach Learning Academy is taking the coronavirus very seriously. That daycare is on the city's west side. It stayed open a week longer than the Marion County school system. But this week, Kaisha Davis made the call to close for now. She says it's to provide a safer place for the kids in the weeks ahead.
So we can sanitize everything. We're getting new playpens, new high chairs. My crew and I, we're going to come in, sanitize the whole daycare from up to down, and just get ready for the kids to come back in 2 weeks.
Indiana's Family and Social Services Administration has been advising child care facilities when it comes to cleaning and sanitation. The administration says facilities should stay open until at least one of its kids tests positive for the coronavirus.
Coronavirus concerns are making things especially tough on divorced parents. Kelly Hagee is a divorced mother with 2 children. She shares 50-50 custody with her ex-husband in their arrangement. They swap every couple of days, and thankfully he lives nearby. But her ex just had surgery and was hospitalized for months. So Kelly is trying to make sure everyone stays healthy and honor their court order.
But right now we are still planning on starting our normal custody this weekend. So because we can just walk them over, it's a little bit easier. But if my kids have symptoms, he's not going to be seeing them. My daughter actually had strep, and I can't risk exposing him to those kind of illnesses because he just can't get back in the hospital.
Parents need to be expecting a delay, and that's why we're encouraging being reasonable, modeling healthy behavior, trying to stay healthy. The courts have already shut down to essential hearings only for the most part. It's county by county. There's discretion of the judge, but I've already had even some emergency hearings that have been continued out, and we don't know when they'll be rescheduled.
Family law attorney Cassie Ringelspaw says if a parent becomes infected with the coronavirus, then the other parent should let that parent make up their parenting time. She says parents should stick to the court order while putting the health of their family first. More restrictions nearly every day this week, and now it's finally the weekend, really the first time we'll experience all these new changes. Our Alyssa Donovan is live this morning. Alyssa, the governor reiterating why it is so important to continue social distancing and support the community during this time.
That's right, Meredith. And more changes were implemented yesterday by the governor during his press conference. And during that time, he also reminded people of Indiana to check on their friends and their family members and their neighbors during this time while continuing to practice that social distancing. He's saying give them a phone call or use technology in some other way to keep in touch with those who are isolated and most vulnerable. Holcomb also reminding Hoosiers that this weekend is a good time to try out the new carry-out services offered by local restaurants and bars, noting that these small business owners need our support, many having to lay off employees due to the dine-in closures. The restaurant business and its employees, one of many industries struggling during this pandemic.
We understand how hard all of these efforts and this response is on Hoosiers as we all collectively try to flatten the curve and slow the spread. Indeed, these are times that try our souls.
And he says that is why it's so important to continue to support the community in ways that we can. And social distancing is still the message as we head into this weekend. The governor also saying that main concern remains those vulnerable individuals. However, the CDC did release some new numbers last night showing that U.S. cases among 20 to 44-year-old people cover 29% of U.S. cases. So even young people are vulnerable to this virus. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Very important statistic there, Alyssa. Thank you so much. Now, with Governor Holcomb expanding school closures until May, Indianapolis public school officials say they're adding more meal service sites. So starting on Monday, school leaders will open 8 additional locations serving prepackaged meals. The meals are open to all students age 18 and younger, including non-IPS students. We do have a list of all the locations right now on the RTV6 app.
The Meals on Wheels mission is to always provide healthy food to our most vulnerable neighbors like senior citizens, people who cannot leave their homes, or people living with HIV. Now, during the coronavirus outbreak, the organization is taking even more action to protect clients and volunteers. Clients are encouraged to get a weekly supply of frozen meals delivered through UPS instead of a regular delivery driver. Many Meals on Wheels clients are most at risk to COVID-19 and rely heavily on the service.
it is not really an option for them not to get the nutritious meals that we provide for them. The meals are all medically tailored to their dietary needs.
Meals on Wheels of Central Indiana is in need of volunteers to help prepare pantry boxes that will be shipped to clients. If you're interested, you're asked to email info@mealsonwheelsindy.org. You're asked not to call because the organization needs to keep phone lines clear for clients in need. Here at 5:38, meteorologist Todd Clausen is looking at our forecast. Todd, a bit of rain still out there.
Yeah, you know, it's very spotty now, Meredith. That's the good news. We don't have that big band of rainfall that's moved through several times over the last 24 hours. So if you're seeing the rain, it's coming down hard, but it's very, very spotty. I mentioned those waves of rain that came through, and that is what has prompted these flash flood warnings that include Bloomington, Martinsville, Nashville, southern sections of Johnson County, including Franklin, Greenwood, not under the flash flood warning right now, Shelbyville, Rushville to Connorsville. This portion of central Indiana has seen anywhere from about 2 to 4 inches of rainfall just in the last 12 hours. So that's a lot of rain in a short period of time. That's why those flash flood warnings are out there. You heard Lauren mention that one lane on the interstate is closed. And let's talk about flood safety quick. I know we always emphasize this, but then we always have video of people driving through flooded waters. Do not attempt to drive through a flooded roadway. 1 foot of water can float your car away, and 2 feet of rushing water can carry most vehicles, including SUVs, right off the road, and obviously that could be a danger to you. So if you encounter some of the flooding that we have this morning across central Indiana, again, as we always say, turn around and don't drown.
Todd, thank you. Scammers are looking to take advantage of the coronavirus pandemic. Straight ahead, what the banking industry wants you to know about protecting your own money.
Friends fans have been waiting for years to see their favorite cast of characters reunite, and looks like they'll have to wait a little bit longer. Coming up, why the planned reunion special was delayed and when it's expected to air. It's 5:40. We'll be right back.
At BotoxCosmetic.com.
As the country continues to fight the coronavirus pandemic, its most populated state is now under a stay-at-home order. As Alex Prochet reports, this is as our country's leaders work to find a cure for both the virus and the economy.
Today, for the first time, some New Yorkers able to drive up and get tested for the novel coronavirus. The state's first site set up in New Rochelle, a suburb just north of New York City, the scene of the state's largest outbreak and also the nation's first active containment zone.
We've been more aggressive about utilizing state testing capacity, but we can't do more than the federal government allows us to do.
Access to coronavirus testing remains a problem across the country. In California, kits still hard to come by. Governor Gavin Newsom saying there aren't enough of them and most are missing key components.
These tests with you're going to the store and purchasing a printer, but forgetting to purchase the ink. So you need multiple components.
Starting Monday, schools in the Los Angeles and San Diego Unified Districts will shut down for 2 weeks. The 2 districts representing over 750,000 students.
These next 2 weeks will be difficult, and we are not certain what lies ahead after that. You have my unwavering commitment to do all that we can to help you and your children.
A new ABC News Ipsos poll released today showing 2/3 of Americans are concerned about contracting the coronavirus. Those fears and their impact can be seen on store shelves as people across the country scramble to buy last-minute supplies. The latest sports events to be postponed, the Boston Marathon and the Masters. A fitting message on the marquee outside D.C.'s Capital One Arena, where the Washington Wizards and Washington Capitals play, reading, all events postponed. Megan Tabrizian, ABC News, New York. As we've seen with cruise ships, these viruses can move quickly through places where people are living close together. So what happens if there's a case in your own neighborhood or maybe even your apartment building? The first piece of advice from the CDC is to stay calm. Continue to follow those preventative measures like washing your hands often, working from home if you can. Now for apartments, you can contact management to see what types of measures they're taking.
If you get a phone call, text, or email warning that banks are limiting access to your money, it is likely a scam. The Federal Deposit Insurance Insurance Corporation says scammers are trying to instill distrust in the U.S. financial system amid the coronavirus pandemic. Right now, scammers are pretending to be FDIC employees so they can get into your bank account. The agency says you should watch out for cyber criminals and not give out any personal banking information. Your financial situation may be up in the air because of the coronavirus, and it's important to know the places you can turn to for help and how to be proactive. The National Foundation for Credit Counseling says by having open communication, you'll learn how everyone from your creditors to your utility companies can help. Your employer may also have resources to help you if you ask. It's also important to talk to your family so you know what needs to be done at home.
But the most important thing that I can advise people to do right now is to communicate. You may be short on cash. You may not have the savings available that will get you through an extended crisis. But the more you communicate with the people you owe, with your family, with your employer, the better off you're going to be.
McClary says now is the time to have an emergency budget, prioritize the things you need to live, cut the other expenses out, or work out repayment situations to manage reoccurring expenses that aren't necessary. Here at 5:47, meteorologist Todd Clausen taking a look at our radar. We had rain overnight. It is making its way out of central Indiana right now.
Yeah, and that's the good news because many locations, Meredith, this morning really need to dry out. So what you see on Storm Team 6 radar now is just some spotty downpours. This morning and late last night, even in the afternoon hours yesterday, we had these waves of heavy rainfall that moved through. That's what prompted a lot of these flash flood warnings that you see scrolling at the top of your screen in southern sections of central Indiana. Right now, these downpours are present, but they're moving through pretty quickly. That's the good news from Gaston to just now to the west of Muncie. Hartford City seeing a heavy downpour. This is impacting State Road 3 as you come out of Hartford City there and you work your way south through Blackford County. We'll come down to the south, a heavy downpour near Morgantown. Another one just to the east of Greenwood and to the west of Fairland there as it kind of toggles between Johnson and Shelby County. But all this will start to come to an end as a cold front will make its way through the state. So we're done with any additional flooding rainfalls. Everything over the next couple hours will be very light in nature. But as this front comes through, there will be a quick little burst again of what we'll call lighter rainfall. When that happens in your neighborhood, that is the actual cold front that will be coming through. Once that happens, you know what happens behind a cold front. It gets much colder, and you can see it just how thin that band of rainfall will be. It works its way through the metro area, it looks like, right around 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning, and then eventually across southern portions of the state as we get into the afternoon hours. And then this afternoon, we're just left with lots of clouds across the area, maybe a few peaks of sunshine late in the day. Temperatures right now are terrific. 70 in Lafayette, 66 in Indianapolis, 67 in Bloomington. Do not get used to these temperatures. As I advance your graphic, look what is lurking just off to our west. 33 right now in Des Moines, 13 in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We will not get into the teens, but by the time you wake up tomorrow morning, we are talking about temperatures that will be in the 20s across the area. Here's how it breaks down, at least today, hour by hour. Still in the 60s until that cold front goes through. As soon as that cold front comes through, you're down into the 50s, eventually into the 40s later on this evening. By the time we get to sunset tonight, which is just a little bit before 8 o'clock, temperatures will be down into the 30s. Tomorrow it's drier. We start off with some clouds. They decrease throughout the day, 40 degrees. Sunday, 46 degrees. So the weekend's dry. It gives us an opportunity to dry out, but it's just not going to be a warm weekend as temperatures will be running nearly 13 to 14 degrees below normal at times during the afternoon hours. Good news is it's a quick shot of colder air back into the 50s Monday and Tuesday. Rain returns on Tuesday as well, followed by temperatures in the 60s for Wednesday and Thursday. Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Here is a look right now at traffic from our INDOT traffic camera over on the east side, I-465 near Brookville Road. Traffic is moving along smoothly through this area. Just a reminder, though, we may have some areas of high water, like I-74 right now westbound, heading towards Indianapolis from the Greensburg area. We have the right lane of traffic closed due to flooding concerns. Watch out for that as you're heading out on the roads this morning.
Fans may have to wait a little longer to revisit Central Park. According to to The Hollywood Reporter, HBO Max is delaying production on the Friends reunion special. The celebrity news site points to the coronavirus pandemic as being the cause of the delay. An announcement about the reunion was made last month. The unscripted show was reportedly slated to begin filming this month, with all 6 stars returning. It would have been available in May when HBO Max launched. No word yet on when production will begin.
A Morgan County company is helping other small businesses in their time of need. Coming up, how they're hoping to drum up business for closed restaurants and bars. We'll be right back.
0 first month's payment and 0 to its signing. Practically just sign then drive.
Welcome back. In troubled times, it's especially important to look for stories of hope. Here in Central Indiana, we know we're going to get through this together as Hoosiers helping Hoosiers. That's why I traveled down to Martinsville to see how one small business is working to make sure that other businesses can stay in business through the COVID-19 crisis. The printers are hot. And the signs are flying out the doors of DG Graphics in Martinsville. The local business that's known for vehicle wraps, signage, banners, decals is working on a new project.
And these restaurants, I mean, they're just mom and pop shops like me. And I wanted to do something to try to help out.
Owner Derek Gady saw a sign from a friend also in the business in Illinois. It read, "Dine-in closed, curbside pickup available. We also have gift cards available." So he asked his friend if he could share his file, and Derek started printing.
Then I had another local guy that owns a graphic shop ask me for that file, so I shared it with him. I shared it with a guy in South Carolina. He shared it with 2 more people in South Carolina, then Las Vegas.
Derek and the others are giving away the signs to any restaurant who needs one, with the hope that it'll make this new normal more easy to understand, helping the public know how they can support these small businesses in this time.
We all have families. We all have to pay our bills. These restaurants, they have employees, they have families. So, you know, to give back to them, to make sure they can still do it. We still eat there. We still, you know, we all want to kind of just work together.
Well, if you're a restaurant who wants one of those signs, there are 2 different designs. You can just contact DG Graphics on Facebook, Instagram, or give them a call. They're going to figure out how to get one to you. If you're a graphic design company and you want a copy of the file to print for some people in your area, you can reach out to them as well. We have all of their contact information on our website, theindychannel.com/coronavirus.
A really great idea there. Thanks for sharing that story with us, Lauren. We do want to take a turn now and get to meteorologist Todd Clausen. Todd, we had all that rainfall overnight, now causing some flooding in some areas.
Yeah, you know, that's our big issue here this morning, at least weather-wise. We've moved on from the threat of severe storms. That's no longer an issue. We had a couple thunderstorm warnings very early this morning. Thankfully, no tornado warnings. Temperatures this morning, nice and mild. Here's what's left of the rain on Storm Team 6 radar, and there's a few isolated heavy downpours still moving through the eastern side of the state, and that rainfall not enough probably to cause any flooding. It will be very brief as the rain's now moving very quickly. Earlier, though, we had waves of rain move through southern sections, and that's why many of you south of Indianapolis are under flash flood warnings at this hour, and you can see those scrolling through the top of your screen. So the rain ends here this morning, probably by about 9-10 o'clock once the cold front comes through. Once that happens, temperatures tumble. I put 50s here for your high temperature. I know we're in the 60s right now, but much of the afternoon in the 50s, then the 40s this evening. By tomorrow morning, we will see our temperatures that will be below freezing.
Todd, thank you. Coming up in the next half hour, no more packed arenas, no more trips, no more tourneys. Day First catches up with Butler's head coach as the team looks for closure on this season. The time now is 5:57. We'll be back in just a few minutes.